Tokyo is home to nearly 40 million people, making it the largest metropolitan area in the world. Yet despite its size, the city runs with a level of order and speed that's hard to find anywhere else. Trains move millions of riders each day and still arrive within seconds of schedule. Streets are crowded, but rarely chaotic. Services, from waste collection to emergency response, follow a precise rhythm that keeps the city functioning. Tokyo shows how a megacity can be designed and managed to handle extreme density without breaking down. Tokyo is not only the world's largest urban center, it's also the world's most reliable test case for how a city can move millions of people every single day. In the previous section, we looked at how Tokyo's size makes it unique. Now we can see how that size is managed in practice, beginning with transit, the system that makes the city's daily rhythm possible. Tokyo's rail network is the backbone of its efficiency. More than 40 million trips are made across the greater Tokyo region each day, most of them by train. The system is not one single company, but a combination of Japan Rail and dozens of private operators. On a map, this looks messy, but in operation, it's tightly coordinated. Schedules are aligned to the minute. Ticketing is unified through simple IC cards like Suica and Pasmo, and transfers between lines are designed so that passengers can switch trains in seconds. The precision of Tokyo trains is what stands out most. Average delays are measured in seconds, not minutes. Stations use platform markings that tell passengers exactly where to line up, so boarding and exiting can happen quickly. Staff are present at every bus station to guide flow, prevent congestion, and keep the system moving. This level of order is about physical design. Wide platforms, clear signage, and trains that arrive every 2 to 3 minutes creates a smooth cycle that absorbs huge volumes of people without chaos. Compare this with New York, where daily ridership is about 1/5 of Tokyo's. Despite the smaller loads, trains are often delayed, platforms crowd easily, and infrastructure struggles to meet demand. In Los Angeles, public transit barely covers the region, leaving cars as the default option and roads permanently congested. London has a stronger system, but the underground still faces frequent disruptions, with lines shutting down or slowing during peak hours. None of these cities approach Tokyo's level of reliability at such a massive scale. Mass transit in Tokyo does more than move people. Neighborhoods are built around stations, businesses schedule around train timetables, and residents can plan their lives knowing the system will work as expected. This trust in transit is what allows a city of 40 million to function without collapsing under its own weight. It's a clear example of how design, coordination, and punctuality combine to make Tokyo the most efficient megacity on Earth. But the efficiency of Tokyo is not only about trains and schedules, it's about how the city itself is shaped. The way Tokyo manages land and development explains why a city of 40 million people has avoided the uncontrolled spread that defines other megacities. Urban sprawl is what happens when a city grows outward faster than it grows upward. In many places, this means long commutes, heavy car use, and neighborhoods that stretch for miles without clear centers. Los Angeles is the most obvious example. Its population is less than half of Tokyo's, but its land area is much larger. People live far from work, depend on highways, and face daily congestion. New York faces a different problem. It has dense cores in Manhattan and parts of Brooklyn, but beyond that, the city expands into low-density suburbs that strain infrastructure. London, too, extends in wide circles, where rail links exist but cannot always match the growth of the outer regions. Tokyo took a different path. Instead of pushing outward into endless suburbs, the city developed around train stations. Each station became a small hub with housing, shops, and services within walking distance. This pattern is repeated across the region, creating hundreds of compact communities connected by rail. People can live in areas far from the city center but still access jobs, schools, and shopping without needing a car. This station-centered design keeps density high while preventing the city from becoming unmanageable. The reason Tokyo can do this is partially cultural and partially structural. Zoning laws are more flexible than in Western cities. In New York or London, strict separation of residential, commercial, and industrial zones often leads to long distances between where people live and where they work. Tokyo allows mixed use. It's common to see apartments above shops, or small businesses next to homes. This reduces travel needs and keeps neighborhoods active. Another factor is how land is used efficiently. Instead of large single-family lots, Tokyo relies on smaller housing units built close together. Even when the population grows, land is reused vertically. Old buildings are torn down and replaced with taller, more modern structures that can house more people. This cycle of constant rebuilding allows the city to renew itself without pushing farther outward. The results are clear. Tokyo supports more people than Los Angeles, New York, and London combined, yet it does not suffer from the same degree of sprawl. Commutes remain shorter on average, car ownership is lower, and public spaces are closer to where people live. The compact design also helps services like trash collection, mail delivery, and policing remain efficient, because workers do not need to cover huge distances. However, this entire system depends on punctuality, and in Tokyo, punctuality is taken to an extreme. Trains are so consistent that a delay of even 1 minute often requires an official apology from the railway company. To understand why Tokyo is the most efficient megacity on Earth, we need to look at the secret behind this precision. First, it begins with scheduling. Every train line in Tokyo runs on a strict timetable, often with intervals as short as 2 to 3 minutes during rush hour. Unlike in New York, where subway arrivals can vary by several minutes or more, Tokyo's operators design schedules down to the second. Dispatchers coordinate train movements so that each departure, arrival, and transfer fits into a larger network. This creates a predictable flow that passengers can rely on without checking live updates. Second, Tokyo's stations are designed to keep time loss to a minimum. Platforms are clearly marked to show where each train door will stop. Passengers queue in organized lines, allowing people to exit before others enter. Staff members, known as pushers, are deployed at the busiest stations to help people board quickly and close the doors on time. This may seem unusual, but it saves valuable seconds during peak hours. In contrast, boarding in New York or London is often slowed by crowds standing in front of doors, forcing others to push through. Third, the system uses technology to monitor and adjust in real time. Sensors along the tracks track speed, position, and timing. Control centers can detect delays early and make corrections by adjusting the speed of following trains. Drivers also receive constant signals that guide them to maintain exact intervals. This reduces the risk of sudden gaps or bunching, a common problem in cities like Los Angeles, where buses and trains often arrive in clusters after long waits. Another key factor is the culture of accountability. In Japan, train companies treat punctuality as a public responsibility. If a worker arrives late to their job because of a train delay, the railway often provides a written certificate to explain the cause. This shows how deeply the expectation of accuracy is built into daily life. The result is mutual trust. Passengers respect the system's order, and the operators maintain it without fail. The impact of this punctuality is enormous. Millions of people can move across the region each day without wasting time in uncertainty. Businesses can schedule meetings with confidence. Schools can begin on time, knowing students will arrive punctually. This level of reliability is something cities like New York, Los Angeles, or London cannot match, despite having smaller populations and lighter demand. However, efficiency in a megacity is also about the daily environment people live in. For Tokyo, this shows most clearly in how the city manages waste and keeps its streets clean, even with a population of nearly 40 million. What surprises many visitors to Tokyo is that trash cans are rare in public spaces, yet the streets are strikingly clean. This is not the result of chance, but of a well-organized system. Waste management in Tokyo begins at the household level. Residents are expected to sort their garbage into multiple categories: burnable, non-burnable, plastic, paper, cans, and bottles. Each category has specific collection days, and waste must be placed out in clear bags so workers can easily see if sorting rules are followed. If rules are ignored, the waste is not collected. This system shifts responsibility to individuals while ensuring that the collection process is smooth and efficient. The structure of this system is very different from cities like New York or London. In New York, trash is often left in black bags on sidewalks, waiting for pickup. This creates clutter, attracts pests, and leaves streets looking dirty. London faces similar issues, with waste frequently piling up in bins or on curbs during strikes or service delays. Los Angeles has another problem. Its urban sprawl makes collection routes longer and less efficient, with waste often being left behind when trucks cannot cover the distance on schedule. Tokyo avoids these problems by enforcing strict household sorting and by making collection routes dense and compact thanks to its station-centered urban design. Street cleanliness is also supported by cultural habits. People in Tokyo often carry their trash home if no bin is available. Convenience stores, vending machines, and stations provide small disposal points, but the responsibility remains with the individual. This prevents overflowing bins and reduces the cost of maintaining public waste facilities. The result is a public environment that stays clean without constant visible intervention. Another key factor is the role of community in schools. From a young age, students in Japan are taught to clean their classrooms and shared spaces. This builds a sense of responsibility that carries into adulthood. Neighborhood associations also play a role, organizing local cleaning efforts and ensuring rules are followed. Combined with the city's formal waste policies, this creates a layered system where cleanliness is maintained both officially and socially. The outcome is visible everywhere. Streets are clean, stations are tidy, and even in dense entertainment districts with heavy foot traffic, litter is minimal. For a city with the scale of Tokyo, this level of order is extraordinary. It makes movement easier, reduces health risks, and creates a sense of trust in public spaces. Moreover, keeping a city of 40 million efficient is not just about order on the ground. It's also about how the city uses space. Unlike many other megacities, Tokyo avoids spreading too far outward and instead uses vertical layers to maximize what already exists. This balance between vertical and horizontal space is one of the main reasons Tokyo functions so well. Tokyo's geography plays a big role. The city sits between mountains and the sea, with limited land available for expansion. Unlike Los Angeles, which has spread far into valleys and suburbs, Tokyo had to find a way to grow without endless sprawl. The solution was to build upward and downward. Skyscrapers, mid-rise apartments, underground malls, and layered transit hubs stack activity on top of one another. This creates density without losing accessibility. One of the most visible examples is in Shinjuku Station. It's the busiest transport hub in the world, moving more than 3.5 million passengers daily. But it's not just a station. Above and below the tracks, there are department stores, restaurants, offices, and hotels, all layered vertically. A single building in Tokyo often contains dozens of small businesses on different floors, from clinics to karaoke rooms to cafes. Instead of spreading across wide blocks like in New York, where large stores dominate ground-level space, Tokyo condenses multiple functions into a single footprint. This use of vertical space also shows up in housing. With limited land, Tokyo relies on compact apartment buildings that often mix residential units with ground floor shops. Buildings are rebuilt frequently, allowing newer designs to replace older ones and make better use of available space. This cycle keeps neighborhoods dense and functional. In contrast, London preserves older structures with strict planning rules, which can limit opportunities to increase capacity. Los Angeles, with its preference for single-family homes, spreads horizontally and consumes more land while housing fewer people. Another key element is underground development. Tokyo's city centers often extend beneath the streets with shopping arcades, food courts, and direct links to transit. In Shibuya or Ikebukuro, entire districts continue several floors below ground. This is rare in New York or Los Angeles, where underground space is limited mostly to subway stations. Tokyo treats the underground as usable city space, adding another layer to absorb crowds and activities. The effect of this vertical approach is efficiency. By stacking functions, Tokyo keeps services, housing, and businesses close together. People can access what they need without long trips, and land is used to its fullest potential. At the same time, the horizontal layout of neighborhoods around train stations prevents the city from feeling overwhelming. The balance of vertical layers with horizontal hubs allows Tokyo to stay both dense and livable. For a megacity of this size, such use of space is essential. Tokyo proves that the smartest way to grow is not always outward, but upward and downward, creating a city that functions in 3 dimensions rather than just one. Meanwhile, space is only one side of the story. What makes Tokyo unique is how its massive population is organized into smaller functional units. Instead of feeling like one endless urban sprawl, Tokyo is made up of hundreds of neighborhoods that operate almost like self-contained villages. This structure is one of the biggest reasons why a city of 40 million can stay coordinated. Each Tokyo neighborhood centers around a train or subway station. The station acts as the anchor point, with shops, restaurants, schools, clinics, and services clustered nearby. Residents can meet most of their daily needs within walking distance. This reduces dependence on cars and makes each neighborhood function independently while still being connected to the wider city by rail. In effect, Tokyo's not one giant city, but a network of small dense communities linked by transit. This is very different from cities like Los Angeles, where neighborhoods are spread far apart and depend on highways to connect. Daily errands in LA often require long drives, which creates congestion and weakens local cohesion. New York does have neighborhoods with strong identities, but many areas rely heavily on commuting into Manhattan for jobs and services. London has its own village-like districts, but their spread-out geography and uneven transit coverage mean residents often need to travel farther to access essentials. In Tokyo, the village model reduces stress on central districts. While Shibuya, Shinjuku, and Ginza are major hubs, the majority of residents spend much of their time in their local neighborhoods. Small businesses thrive because foot traffic is constant, and local services remain well used. This decentralization prevents overcrowding in the city's core and allows each area to contribute to the larger system. Neighborhood cohesion is also reinforced through community networks. Local associations, called chonaikai, play an important role in organizing events, managing safety, and even assisting during disasters. These groups keep communication lines open between residents and local officials, ensuring that neighborhoods function smoothly. Schools, parks, and shrines also serve as gathering points, giving each district a sense of identity within the massive city. Another advantage of this structure is resilience. Because services are distributed, residents do not need to travel far to reach what they need. During natural disasters, such as earthquakes, neighborhoods can operate independently if central systems are disrupted. People know where to gather, who to contact, and how to coordinate at the local level. This ability to scale down to community-sized units is critical for a city as large as Tokyo. The result is a megacity that feels manageable at the street level. Residents can live their daily lives within compact, walkable districts while still being part of one of the largest urban regions in the world. The neighborhood as village model prevents the alienation and disconnection that often comes with size. It shows that efficiency is not only about trains, skyscrapers, or waste systems, it's also about people living in communities that remain human in scale.